I don't know about you, but I am really drawn to fragrances that smell like alcohol. Specifically cocktails. I love perfumes that are inspired by mixology. And in today's video, I have here 5 fragrances that do fit this theme. Most of them are niche. I do have one super affordable fragrance here that I absolutely love. But what ties all these fragrances in common is all of them have a really uncanny, realistic cocktail inspired scent, whether it's intentional or not, that I find myself really drawn to. If this is your first time on this channel, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Anya. I love fragrances. I talk about them here 5 times a week. I also publish additional videos on other social media platforms under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. I do have a podcast as well called The Fragrance Report. I publish a new episode every Wednesday on Spotify, and I also publish episodes here on my YouTube channel for you to watch. Full disclosure, I actually don't drink alcohol, but I've always been fascinated by the concept of mixology for the same reason that I'm fascinated with cooking, for instance. I love taking all the different flavors and putting them together to make something really beautiful, and I love cooking for that reason, and I also love the idea of mixology for that reason as well. Now I participate in alcohol-free cocktails for that reason, but I also do love incorporating elements of mixology into my perfumes as well. And in this case, these perfumes are inspired by or similar to things that you would drink, right? So I do think that these fragrances kind of have like an element, a gourmand element to them, even though I don't think most people consider cocktail inspired fragrances as part of the gourmand category. I do think that these fragrances are in a way gourmand perfumes. So I'm not sure how I'm going to title this video for SEO purposes, we'll see. But I'm excited about the selection, so let's get on into it. Starting off with this perfume by J.U.S. I've wanted to have this for such a long time. I smelled it and I was so fascinated by this, but this is J.U.S Spritz Love, and this is a bottle that was sent to me by the brand, and I do have a code available with them. It's Anya 10 if you want to save some money. I love J.U.S. They have some really interesting and unique scents. This is not my first bottle from them, but this is like my first fragrance from them that has these citrusy elements in here, and this particular perfume really spotlights the note of bitter orange, and it ends up smelling kind of like a Campari Aperol Spritz, maybe something with like a bit of a Negroni element. It's really beautiful. So this is not sweet at all. It's really focused on that bitter orange, and there's like a lightness to it that really smells like a cocktail. And that's something I really love. I find that cocktail-like fragrances are a really fun alternative to like the traditional, just typical citrus, because you can wear them in a similar way that you'd wear a refreshing citrus perfume. For instance, I've been wearing this all week. I just got it a few days ago, but I've been wearing this all week, and I will often just like spray this on my hair. I'll like spray it all over as kind of like a base layer, because it's one of those fragrances that's really easy to wear, and I have really been enjoying this one. So let me get into the notes. Okay, so this is actually a perfume that came out in 2022, but I really love this and I think you should definitely try it out. So this has top notes of bitter orange and petitgrain, a mid of vetiver and saffron, and then a base of amberwood and oud. The oud is kind of surprising here. I don't really smell it, and it just might be me, but I smelled it bitter orange first and foremost. That is the perfume note that really stands out to me. And I kind of get like the vetiver aspect, especially as it dries down, but in the opening you really do get like kind of like a drinkable bitter orange scent. It's really uncanny. I really love this fragrance. I'm happy to have it. And if you do want to try this fragrance out, they have a travel size available as well on their website. And they do have their discovery set too. So you can use Anya 10 on all those things. That is an affiliate code. I do get some money off of that. But if you want to try J.U.S, I really recommend you try this brand. They have some really good perfumes, and I feature them all the time on this channel, specifically because I love their scents. So yeah. Spritz Love by J.U.S. This is a really great standout. So let's talk about a fragrance that smells like a little bit brighter. This is brighter, juicier, kind of like your warm weather fruity cocktail moment. This is by the maker. This is called Paradiso. This is a fragrance that, to be honest, I think I'm just going to put it on my full bottle wish list, because I have like been going through this decant and I'm treasuring this so much because I love this fragrance. It's a really, really beautiful perfume. So let's get into the notes. There is a really prominent note of mangosteen in here, and I've never really smelled a perfume with mangosteen in it prior to this one, but it kind of like ends up smelling like kind of like a lychee-esque fruity perfume. I do love this perfume. It smells like a little bit heavier on the blood orange in this one. So there's a mangosteen, there's a blood orange, and the blood orange is definitely more prominent. So like the J.U.S one, it smells like Campari or like an Aperol Spritz, like something that has blood orange or like bitter orange in the drink. But this smells like you've just had like a cocktail with like a thick, you know, citrus in it, like a wedge or like a, you know, one of those dehydrated cocktail citrus moments. That's what this smells like. I really like it. And it's also not a fragrance that people talk about that much from the maker. I feel like they talk a lot about Libertine, they talk a lot about the new one has been really popular, the Dream one, and what else, Lovers is also really popular. I love Lovers. But I think this one is definitely very interesting. So this has top notes of blood orange, mangosteen, and Sicilian bergamot, a mid of ambrette, plumiera, and myrtle, and then a base of Moroccan cedar, patchouli, and oak moss. This does have like a superior longevity considering it is so citrus forward, especially in the base. And I do think the oak moss, patchouli, and cedar have something to do with that as well. I really like this fragrance a lot. So this, like when I first smelled this was giving cocktail. I really enjoy this one. So this is Paradiso by the maker. Okay, so this one I already know I'm going to be spraying this on while we're filming this video, but this is actually from Commodity. This is called Gin. So this is quite literally meant to smell like a cocktail. I love this. I was able to visit the Commodity store when I was in New York last month, or not last month. Yeah, well, December. I was in New York in December, and Commodity kindly invited me to smell through their fragrances in store, and I came across their exclusive line in the store because they have like an exclusive line that's not available online, but it's available in store. And I smelled Gin and I fell in love with this fragrance, and it truly is such a standout for me. I wear it like all the time. I'm starting to make like a baby dent, so when that happens I think I'm gonna have to go to New York and get another bottle of this because I truly love this fragrance. Like I love this perfume. So this perfume actually has notes of juniper berry. It's very strong on the juniper berry, which I personally love, grapefruit juice, and lime, a mid of ginger leaf, freesia, and labdanum, and then a base of patchouli, smoky oak, and musk. The way this perfume, I know I'm like overspraying, but the way this perfume smells, like so photorealistic when it comes to the juniper berry and the grapefruit, but it's primarily focused on the juniper berry, which I love, and it just smells amazing. Like if I smelled this, like I think anyone can wear this, but if I smell this on a guy especially, it'll be like, oh my gosh, amazing. But I love this perfume, and it's honestly been one of my go-tos, like my go-to comforting fragrances. I wear it as like a hair perfume all the time because like something like this is meant to be like watery, kind of like on like the lighter side. It's meant to mimic a cocktail, right? And I appreciate that because then you can like wear it all over and you can have that aura about you without worrying about like overpowering the people around you, or by having, you know, your whole experience being taken over by like one scent. This is kind of like an aura fragrance. I love this perfume. I would say, yeah, this is really good. It's a standout. I have some other ones I'm really excited to share with you, but this is easily probably one of my more favorite fragrances in this category right now, even though that is kind of hard to say because I love all these perfumes so much. But Commodity Gin, if you happen to be in New York and you love more unique fragrances and you love juniper berry, go to the Commodity store, tell them I sent you, and tell them I told you to try this because I love this perfume. It's amazing, iconic chef's kiss. So this next one I've loved for years, and I remember when I first got this fragrance, or well, actually no, when I first smelled this fragrance, I couldn't really like afford to get niche at the time, and this fragrance lived rent free in my head for years. And when I started to get into more niche fragrances, I was thinking about it, but then I'm like, oh, like it's kind of a little bit on the older side. Like I don't need it. Honestly, screw that. Like, pardon my French, if you want to get something, it doesn't have to be like the new. You can get whatever you want to get. And like personally, this is a fragrance that I wear so much. Like I've only had this for about like a month and a half, and look at this dent. Look at this dent. This is Bloody Wood by Liquide Imaginaire. This is an iconic fragrance for me because it has so many interesting notes that previously like I would get a little bit bored by, but this is executed in such a masterful way. Like I love this. So it has like notes of cherry, right, which you see everywhere, but in here you have cherry with the raspberry and wine. There is a really beautiful, like kind of like bubbly red wine presence in this fragrance that I love. And it's kind of like a tart perfume. Like it's not like sweet. There's some sweetness in it, but it's more like a tart fragrance. It smells like a kind of like a bubbly dessert wine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love this so much. I wear this all the time. I love this. Yeah, it kind of like almost, it has like a kind of similar bitter quality. Not like bitter, tart quality. I love this perfume so much. Let's get into the notes. So we have top notes of red wine, rose, and violet, a mid of red wine, cherry, fruity notes, and raspberry, and then a base of woody notes, oak, and sandalwood. When I say I was kind of like, when I say some of these fragrance notes are boring to me, I'm not like saying that to like neg this fragrance or to neg these notes in general, but you know like how cherry is in everything? Well, in this case, this fragrance has cherry, but it's done in a very special and interesting and unique way. And that's what cherry fragrances are supposed to be. Like you can have so many other renditions of the cherry note without going for the ambery cherry. And in this case, like, this is such an interesting and unique fragrance. I love it so much. I love this perfume. Bloody Wood, so worth it to me. It literally smells like a bubbly dessert wine. I'm currently on the hunt for a fragrance that smells like a very like full-bodied red wine, the kind that you'd have like with your steak, with like your, you know, like heavier entrees. That's what I'm on a mission to find. And I actually do have a fragrance coming that has a wine note. Some of you may be able to guess what that is, but I've had like this fragrance coming for a while, but there was a little bit of an issue with fulfillment with this particular brand, but it should be able to come, I think, next week, and I'm really excited to share that with you. So I just didn't want to wait to film this video because I've been wanting to film this for such a long time. I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. But yeah, anyway, that's quite the tangent. Bloody Wood, Liquide Imaginaire. I love this fragrance. It's so beautiful, so unique. I adore it. So yeah, there you go. I'm gonna finish this off talking about a fragrance that is very affordable. You probably might have heard me mention this before, but this is Taskeen Marina by Paris Corner. I genuinely think that this smells kind of like one of those like sugary, citrus forward cocktails that doesn't have like too much alcohol in it, but just it's kind of something that you have like during brunch or something. Like this smells like that. It's a fragrance that has a very grapefruit forward approach, but it's kind of smells like it's grapefruit, but like perfumey grapefruit. And I really, really do love this perfume. It has superior longevity considering that it is so focused on those citruses, because a lot of perfumes with citruses, just by nature, that scent molecule is not going to be as long lasting as some of the other scent notes that we talk about, right? So a lot of times citrus perfume that has good longevity is hard to find, and that's kind of like, that comes with the territory, so to speak, but it kind of depends on like what you pair with that citrus fragrance or with that citrus note in the fragrance. But in this case, the notes that are listed are grapefruit, blackcurrant, and lily of the valley. I don't know what else they put in here. I mean, obviously, I feel like they put some other fragrance notes in this perfume. I definitely do get the black currant in here. I think Lily of the Valley is a fantasy note, right? So I'm not sure if it's supposed to smell in any way. But this perfume kind of reminds me of, you know, the Chanel Chance line. Specifically, I'm talking like Chance Au Tendre. That one, I really like that fragrance. This is kind of similar to that, but like cheaper. So I really do like this one. I haven't like tested it side by side, but when I think of this fragrance, I think of that fragrance. So yeah, this is like a really good, affordable, sweet kind of cocktail fragrance, but I don't think that they meant for this to be a cocktail fragrance. So I wouldn't even say it's cocktail inspired. It's kind of like cocktail-esque. So if you want a fragrance that smells like a really photorealistic kind of grapefruit juice, maybe like a grapefruit mimosa actually, this fits that bill. So Taskeen Marina by Paris Corner. Alright, so those are all the fragrances I wanted to talk about today. Let me know, what do you think about this genre? Are these the kind of fragrances that you find yourself reaching for? Is this a genre that you want me to explore further? There are a lot of perfumes that kind of like fit this theme that I could talk about in other videos, but let me know what you want to see next. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!